Hello students, today we'll learn uh, the very important concept in digital system design. Two different concepts which we are going to learn. We will be learning what are universal gates, how the universal gates are used to realize all other basic gates. The next discussion what we'll be doing in this video is we'll also be discussing on canonical forms. Okay, how the canonical form expression, Boolean expression can be realized in terms of sum of product and product of sum. So these two discussions we'll be doing today in this particular video. Hello students. Okay, in my previous video, I have explained the introduction part of the digital system design, where we have learned different basic gates and universal gates that are being used in digital systems. Today we'll see how these universal gates are actually used to design the other basic gates. So any gate can be derived using these NAND and NOR gates. That is the reason why that both gates are called as universal gates. Okay, first step is let us see how the NAND gate is used to realize the AND gate. Now we all know that at the AND gate output is y equals a into b, right? So the expression for AND gate is a into b. Now we'll see how this expression can be obtained using a NAND gate. Now you can see the diagram here. So normally when you give two inputs A and B to the NAND gate, the output of the NAND gate will always be AB bar, right? The bar will be there. So to overcome with this bar, we need to see through that. So AB bar should become AB. So therefore we should see that how the NOT gate can be obtained using NAND gate. Now in NAND, if you short two different inputs and if you give any input to that shorted terminal, the output will be bar of that, means the output will be complement of that. Therefore when you short two inputs terminal and give the input to one single input to that and take out the output, this gate is actually works as a NOT gate. Okay, this gate actually works as a NOT gate. Therefore you take A and B through a NAND gate where I get AB bar, and you give that to the not equivalent NAND gate, and that will give me AB. Okay, so this is how we use NAND gates to realize the AND gate. So we need two NAND gates to realize the AND gate output A and B. See this, AB bar, the whole bar, bar gets cancelled, so AB, you get AB. Similarly, I said NOT gate, right? NOT gate is what? When you short two inputs of any NAND gate, and then when you short, it behaves as one single input. Therefore, I'll give A, I get A bar. So this is the not equivalent NAND gate. Okay, so now we all know NOT gate symbol is this, and A bar we get. Similarly here NAND gate is used as a NOT gate. Okay, then we have OR gate realization using NAND gate. Now we know the expression for OR gate is y equals a plus b. So we need to get this a plus b expression by using NAND gate. First thing is we know the De Morgan's theorem. So De Morgan's theorem says a into b the whole bar equals a bar plus b bar. Similarly, a plus b the whole bar equals a bar and b bar. This is the De Morgan's theorem that we have, right? These are the two De Morgan's theorem which is very important that we need to know. Now we will see how to realize the OR gate using NAND gate. So OR gate expression is a plus b. So we should end with getting this expression. Now this is this diagram which you can think of writing to get the OR gate, because I need A and B separate, right? So when I need A and B separate, I will take A and B separately here, but I will take through NAND gate. The reason is here NAND gate is always the complement that we get as an output. Therefore A is given to the not equivalent NAND gate, I got A bar. Then I got B, which is given to the NOT gate equivalent of NAND gate, I got B bar. Now A bar and B bar is given as an input to this NAND gate, where this NAND gate will do what? A bar and B bar, the whole bar. That is what the expression we get when we give A bar and B bar as an input to the NAND gate. Once we have A bar and B bar the whole bar, De Morgan's theorem says what? A and B the whole bar equals A bar plus B bar. Similarly, A bar and B bar the whole bar equals A bar the whole bar plus B bar the whole bar. So therefore bar gets cancelled. Here also bar gets cancelled. So you will end up in getting A plus B. Therefore you need 3 NAND gates to realize an OR gate using NAND gate. And this is the symbol of OR gate, where A and B the input and A plus B the output. So therefore these 3 NAND gates is equal to one single OR gate. Okay, this is how NAND gate is used to realize OR gate. Coming to next realization, where XOR gate using NAND gate. So we realize XOR gate using NAND gate. So we all know the expression for XOR gate is Y equals A XOR B, which is A bar B plus AB bar. So we should realize this A bar B plus AB bar is the expression we need to get as an output, but we need to use only NAND gates to realize this XOR gate. So to get that, what we will do is, I need A bar plus AB, B bar plus AB for the input for the last NAND gate. Then only I can get the expression A bar B plus AB bar. So to get A bar plus AB and AB plus B bar, I need this connection, this 3 NAND gate connection. Okay, I will take A, I will take B, I get A and B the whole bar. Okay, the output of this NAND gate is A and B the whole bar, because I need to get A bar plus AB. Therefore I need one AB and one A here, and here I need one AB and one B here. Therefore I'll take AB the whole bar, I'll give one of the input to this second NAND gate, and then I'll give A as another input to this NAND gate. What I'll get, A and AB the bar and that whole bar. Okay, so this is the NAND gate bar is A and B bar and that whole bar. Now De Morgan's theorem says you separate this A and this AB bar, so it gives you A bar plus A and B the bar the whole bar. Therefore A bar will remain, A and B the whole bar, the bar gets cancelled, so you will be left out with AB. So I got A bar plus AB. Similarly, if you go here, B is one of the input for this NAND gate, A and B bar is another input for this NAND gate. When I take out the output, what will I get? A and B bar and B the whole bar. Again De Morgan's theorem, you separate these two now, A and B the whole bar plus B bar. Bar and bar gets cancelled for AB here, so AB plus B bar. Now these two inputs, AB plus B bar and A bar plus AB, is given to this NAND gate. So when you give the input to that NAND gate, what happens? A bar plus AB and AB plus B bar the whole bar. Now let me expand this expression and see whether it is equal to A bar B plus AB bar. Now you multiply these two, I will get A bar AB, A bar B bar, AB B bar. We know according to the laws which we have seen in the previous video, A into A bar equals 0, A into A equals A, B into B equals B, B into B bar equals also 0. Therefore A into A bar is 0, so this particular term will get removed. If B into B bar equals 0, so this term will get removed. A into B, so B into B is one single B, therefore AB plus A bar B bar. Now AB plus A bar B bar the whole bar. Therefore AB bar and A bar B bar the whole bar. Okay. Now again you try to apply De Morgan's theorem. We know that A and B the whole bar is A bar plus B bar, and A bar B bar the whole bar is A bar the whole bar plus B bar the whole bar. So bar gets cancelled, so I haven't written here, so I have just written A plus B. Now again multiply this to A into A bar plus A into B bar plus A bar B plus B into B bar. Now A into A bar, B into B bar is 0. Therefore, you are left out with AB bar plus A bar B. Therefore, that is A XOR B. So I got the expression A XOR B. Therefore, the output here is nothing but A XOR B. And this is what A XOR B equivalent NAND gate diagram. So you need 4 NAND gates to realize XOR gate. Now here, if you see this, the XNOR is obtained here itself. See this AB plus A bar B bar, the whole bar you have got. So therefore, this expression what you have got, when I am simplifying it, I got AB plus A bar B bar the whole bar. Now AB plus A bar B bar is nothing but the expression for XNOR. Therefore, if you put one more NAND gate here, which is NAND equivalent NOT gate here, then this bar gets cancelled and you get an XNOR expression. That is what we have done here in the next slide if you see. So XNOR gate using NAND gate, you have XOR gate and connect that to one NAND gate, another NAND gate, which is NOT gate equivalent NAND gate, you will get A bar B bar plus AB. So till here it is XOR. Whereas you connect the output of XOR to another NAND gate equivalent NOT gate, then you get XNOR. Okay. So therefore, this is how you get XNOR gate using NAND gates. Okay. Half of that until this NAND gate is XOR. Connect that output of XOR to this NAND gate, it is XNOR. Okay. Now let us see how to get different gates using NOR gate now. So we have two universal gates, NAND gate and NOR gate. Now we will see how to use NOR gate to realize the basic gates. First we see NOT gate using NOR gate. It is as similar as the NAND gate which we have done. You short two gates, you short two different inputs here. For NOR gate, you short the NOR gate two inputs and give one input A and you get A bar. Okay, so therefore in both NAND and NOR, if you short two inputs, that behaves as a NOT gate. Okay. Now coming to OR gate using NOR gate, very simple. When you give A, B input for NOR gate, you get A plus B the whole bar. Now this bar, if you want to remove, you use a NOT equivalent NOR. So therefore A plus B bar is given to the NOT gate equivalent NOR. I got A plus B the whole bar, I got A plus B. So you need two NOR gates to realize OR gate. Then we'll see how to realize AND gate using NOR gate. So therefore, as we need A and B, I will give first A bar and then I will give B bar as an input to NOR. Now if I take the output of that NOR, what will I get is A bar plus B bar the whole bar. So A bar plus B bar the whole bar. So I have taken A bar, I have taken B bar and then I have given that as a two inputs to NOR where I get A bar plus B bar the whole bar. Now according to De Morgan's theorem, A plus B the whole bar is A bar and B bar. Therefore A bar plus B bar the whole bar is A bar the whole bar and B bar the whole bar. So bar gets cancelled in both, so you will end up in getting AB. This is how you realize AND gate using NOR gates. You need three NOR gates to get AND gate. Okay. Then XOR gate using NOR gate. Again, as we did in NAND gate, the same thing we do here also. So what we do is we'll take A, we'll take B. I got A plus B the whole bar. Now what I should get is A bar B I should get. And here I should get AB bar. So when I want A bar B and AB bar, I have to do these particular connections. So A plus B the whole bar, then A is two inputs for this NOR gate. What will I get? A plus B the whole bar. Now according to De Morgan's theorem, this and this you can AND it. A bar and A plus B the whole bar. So therefore if you multiply that two, you get A bar B. Okay. Similarly here A plus B the bar plus B the whole bar, and this will according to De Morgan's theorem, A plus B the whole bar and B bar. You multiply B bar inside and B into B bar is 0. You will end up in getting A into B bar. So now if I give these two inputs to this particular NOR gate, what will I get? A bar B plus AB bar the whole bar. Now can you see A bar B plus AB bar the whole bar is nothing but XNOR. See, the complement of XOR is XNOR. So A bar B plus AB bar is XOR. The whole bar is XNOR. Therefore till here it is XNOR gate. Okay, this connection is XNOR gate. If you connect another not equivalent NOR gate here, then you get the XOR gate output. So this connection is XNOR. The output of that is given to not equivalent NOR will give you XOR. Okay. So half of this till this NOR gate it is XNOR, whereas once you connect this NOR gate to the output of that you will get XOR. So therefore this is how we realize the different basic gates using universal gates. I hope it's clear to you all. Okay, it's clear to you all. So this a plus b the whole bar. I have I have solved here. You can pause the video and see how I have multiplied. It's very simple. You can easily understand if you know the De Morgan's theorem. Okay, this thing can be understood. So how I got AB bar and A bar B is what I have explained here. Okay. Alright. So XNOR gate I have already told you how to realize it. Half of this is nothing but XNOR. Therefore, the same diagram I have again repeated here. Okay. Now, till here whatever we have learned is what a very basic knowledge that we have in digital system design. First thing is we learned Boolean laws. Second thing is we learned what are the different basic gates that we have. Third thing is we have learned what are the universal gates that we have. And then today we have learned how universal gates are being used to realize other basic gates. Now the next step is we'll learn the Boolean function representation, which is called as canonical forms. So normally in Boolean algebra, the Boolean functions or Boolean expressions what we take, we do represent that in canonical form. There are two standard canonical forms. One is sum of product, the other one is product of sum. Sum of product will work on min terms, product of sum will work on max terms. Now we'll see what is that. So what is sum of product here is logical OR of multiple product terms. Logical OR of multiple product terms. For example, AB plus BC plus CA. AB is one product term, BC is another product term, CA is the third product term. Whereas in between, can you see that plus symbol? That says logical OR of these product terms, and that is nothing but sum of products. Coming to product of sum. For example, you have A plus B multiplied with B plus C multiplied with C plus A. A plus B is one sum term, B plus C is another term, C plus A is another sum term. Now you are ANDing all these three different terms, and that is what logical AND of multiple sum terms, and it is called as product of sum. Okay. Now we'll see what is min term and max term. Min term is a product term that contains all the input variables. Like for example, AB plus BC plus CA, whatever I wrote, whatever I am telling you, that is not the min term, because in AB, C is missing, BC, A is missing, CA, B is missing. Now you need to convert this AB plus BC plus CA into a standard expression where all these three terms will also has three variables together. Okay, that is what the min term is. Min term is a product term that contains all the input variables that makes up a Boolean expression. Okay, so that is what the min term is all about. Okay, so that is what this min term is all about. Coming to max term is a sum term. Okay, here it is a product term, whereas max term is a sum term that contains all the input variables. Now similarly, A plus B doesn't have C. So if it is A plus B plus C, then all three input variables are there, and that is what max term is. Min term is A into B into C. Max term is A plus B plus C. Keep this in mind. I'll repeat, min term is A into B into C, whereas max term is A plus B plus C. Means this is just an example which I am telling you. So for min term, 1 is the normal form. For min term, 1 is the normal form. 0 is the complemented form. Okay. And for max term, 0 is the normal form, whereas 1 is the complemented form. Okay. For min term, 1 is the normal form, 0 is the complemented form. And for max term, 0 is normal form and 1 is complemented form. Now we will understand this with this example now. For example, let us consider three variable function. So three variable function is input A, input B, input C. Okay, three variable inputs. Now we will see how to write min terms for these three variable inputs. See, when I say three variable input, then how many conditions I will get? I will get 8 conditions. That is 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 0, 1, 1, 1, 0, 0, 1, 0, 1, 110 111. So here this is the decimal value of 0. This is decimal value will be 1. For this binary bits, the decimal value will be 2. For this it is 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. 0 to 7. I have written 8 different conditions. 3 input, 2 power 3 equals 8. So I get 8 different conditions. So for min term, 0 is the complemented form. See, 0 is the complemented and 1 is normal. Therefore, I will represent 0 with bar, where I will represent 1 without bar. So 0 0 0 for ABC, 0 0 0. Therefore, I get A bar and B bar and C bar. And this is designated with M naught, small m. Keep this in mind. Small m is for min term. Capital M we use it for max term. Okay, small m we use it for min term. Capital M we use it for max term. So similarly, if I say 0 0 1, it is A bar, B bar, C. Why? Because 0 0 will take bar. Therefore, A bar, B bar, C. And that is the min term M1. 1 because the decimal equivalent of 0 0 1 is 1. Similarly, 0 1 0 is A bar, B, C bar. This is M2. So this is the product term. And this is the min term. Product term is the min term. Whereas sum term is max term. Okay, sum term is max term. Okay, so here product term is what min term which we need to write. So now 0 1 1 is A bar B C. 1 0 0 is A B bar C bar. 1 0 1 is A B bar C. 1 1 0 is A B C bar. Meanwhile, this M1, M2 for 0 1 0, M3 for 0 1 1. This 1 2 3 says the decimal value of this binary value. M4 is for 1 0 0, M5 is for 1 0 1. Similarly, A B C bar is for 1 1 0. Therefore, M6 1 1 1 A B C, M7 1 1 1 A B C, 1 1 0 0 is bar, so therefore A B C bar, and so on. So I hope now you realized how to write min term. Okay, I hope you got how to write min term expression. Now we will go to max term. Okay, now we will go to max term. So max term says, again 3 input variables we have taken for max term A, B, C. Again, when I have 3 input variables, then it goes from condition 0 0 to 1 1 1. Okay, now in max term, 0 is normal form, 1 is complemented form. Okay, 0 is normal form, 1 is complemented form. But here we write in terms of sum. There we used to write product in min term. Now we write sum term in max term. So therefore 0 is common form, normal form. Therefore 0 will not have bar here. So A plus B plus C without bar. Okay, A plus B plus C is what max term. Capital M is used for max term. So M naught. Again 0 is the decimal equivalent of this binary value 0 0 0. Similarly 0 0 1. 0 is A plus B is 0 plus C is 1. Therefore C bar. So as I said you, 1 is complemented form. Okay, so therefore you get C bar. And that is M1, capital M1. 0 1 0 A plus B bar plus C. That is what. Similarly, A is 0. Therefore A, BC is 1 1. Therefore A plus B bar plus C bar. Similarly, A plus B bar plus C bar. I'm sorry. A is 1. Therefore A bar plus B plus C. That is what in max term. Okay. Now coming to this, A bar plus B plus C bar. Coming to this one, A bar plus B bar plus C. And this one, last one is A bar plus B bar plus C bar. And that is M sum. I hope you understood how to write the max term. This is the way you write min term with product, and this is the way you write max term with sum. Okay. Alright. So we'll see how canonical min term form or canonical SOP form or sum of min term. All names are equal. Canonical min term, canonical SOP, sum of product form, and sum of min term. So we'll see how to get this canonical min term form. Okay. So expression constructed using min term are said to be canonical min term form. Okay. Expressions constructed using min terms are said to be canonical min term form. So I'll just go with the example. Now before that, summation notation is very important. Okay, summation notation is the one which you can represent, that is the minterm. When you have summation with small m, okay, summation with small m says it is minterm. Okay, now let us look into the example. F of x comma y comma z equals x bar y bar z bar plus xyz plus xy bar z plus xyz bar. This is the question which is given, and you need to write minterm for this. Now we all know that x bar y bar z bar, in minterm 0 is complemented whereas 1 is normal. Therefore x bar says it is 0, y bar says it is 0, z bar says it is 0. 0 0 0. The decimal equivalent of 0 0 0 is 0. Now x y z. X is 1, y is 1, z is 1 because 1 is in normal form. Therefore 1 1 1 is the 7. Now x is 1, y is 0, z is 1. 1 0 1 is 5. x1, y1, z0. 1 1 0 is 6. So I'll just write in a proper order. So summation m of 0, 5, 6 and 7. So this is the minterm for this particular problem, for this particular expression. Okay. Now coming to canonical max term form or canonical product of some form or sum of max terms, what we call. So this is what 0 is what the normal form here, and 1 is the complemented form, right? So therefore the first thing is you need to know it is been denoted. Pi notation is used for max term, keep this in mind. Summation is for min term, pi is the max term notation. So pi with capital M is what max term notation. Summation with small m is what min term notation. Pi with capital M is what max term notation. So therefore here x plus y bar plus z, x bar plus y plus z bar, this is the max term equation you have. You need to write what are the max term form. So x plus y bar plus z, x is 0 because 0 is the normal form. Complement what you have, bar is nothing but 1 because 1 is the complemented form in max term. So therefore 0 1 0, 0 1 0 is what, decimal value is 2. So similarly here 1 0 1 because 1 is complemented, so bar says it is 1. Therefore 1 0 1, 1 0 1 is 5 is the decimal value. Similarly x y z all are zeros, 0 plus 0 plus 0, therefore 0. Therefore pi m of 0 to 5. So this is how you represent the max term form. Okay. Now let us go with the examples. Write the algebraic form for the following Boolean expression. You need to write the algebraic form for the following Boolean expression. So what will I get? F of a comma b comma c equals summation m of 1 comma 2 comma 4 comma 5. F of a comma b comma c equals pi m of 0 comma 3 comma 5. So let us take the first example now. So f of a comma b comma c equals summation m of 1 comma 2 comma 4 comma 5. Now you need to represent 1 in canonical minterm form. So I have already told how 1 is written. First of all, decimal, the binary value for 1 is 0 0 1, 0 0 1. Therefore 0 is a bar, was again 0 is a b bar, 1 is c, therefore a bar b bar c. For 2 it is 0 1 0, therefore a bar b c bar. For 4 it is 1 0 0, therefore a b bar c bar. For 5 is 1 0 1, therefore a b bar c. And this expression is what that you get here. So a bar b bar c plus a bar b c bar plus a b bar c bar plus a b bar c is for 1 2 4 5. Coming to representing max term now. F of a comma b comma c equals pi m of 0 comma 3 comma 5. Now here 0 is the normal form, 1 is the complemented form. If I want to write a 0, what I'll write? A plus b plus c. When a is 0, b is 0, c is 0. A plus b plus c is equivalent to 0. Similarly 3 is what? The binary value for 3 is 0 1 1, right? So therefore a will take 0, b bar is 1 now, c bar is 1 now. Therefore a plus b bar plus c bar. Similarly, 5 is 1, 0, 1. 1 is A bar, 0 is B, again 1 is C bar. Therefore, A bar plus B plus C bar. And that is what the expression that you get. Okay. Coming to last one, f of PQRS. So we have 4 variables. All these are 3 variables which we have written. Now we have 4 variables. So expression will also have 4 variables in each product term. So summation m says it is min term. Here pi m says it is max term. Here it is summation m, it says min term. I have 4, 8, 10, 12, 14, 15. Now representing 4 in min term. We know in 4 variable, 4 is represented as 0, 1, 0, 0 in binary. 0, 1, 0, 0 in binary. Therefore, 0, 1, 0, 0, which is P bar, Q, R bar, S bar. 0, 1, 0, 0. 8 is represented as 1, 0, 0, 0. 1 followed by 3 zeros. Therefore, 1 will take P and Q bar, R bar, S bar is 0, 0, 0. Therefore, this is 8. Similarly, 10 is 1, 0, 1, 0. 10 is 1, 0, 1, 0. Therefore, P 1, Q bar 0, R 1, S bar 0. So, P, Q bar, R, S bar. Plus 12 is 1, 1, 0, 0. Therefore, P, Q, R bar, S bar. 14 is 111, 1, 1, 1, 0. Therefore, P, Q, R, S bar, 1, 1, 1, 0. Coming to 15 is all ones, 1, 1, 1, 1. Therefore, all ones, so therefore it is PQRS. So I hope by now, by looking into these decimal values, you came to know how to write the expressions. Or if the expressions is given, you can write the decimal values also. Okay, now construct the truth table for the following Boolean function. That is what we are seeing here. Construct the truth table for the following Boolean function. So what will I get? F of x comma y comma z. Okay, I'll go to the problem. F of x comma y comma z equals summation m of 0 comma 2 comma 5 comma 6 comma 7. So here min term says 1 is the normal form and 0 is the complemented form. So whichever the number which is there in the bracket, you are going to represent the output for those numbers as 1 and others as 0. Now here we'll look into the truth table. Now first of all, we have 3 variable terms here. So once I have 3 variables, I will have 8 terms from 0, 0 to 1, 1, 1, 1. 2 power 3 is 8. Therefore from 0, 0, 0 till 1, 1, 1, 1, we'll write all the entries. So 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 0, 1, 1, 1, 0, 0, 1, 0, 1, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1, 1, 1. We'll write all entries from 0, 0, 0 till 1, 1, 1. Now, see the entries which are present inside this bracket. 0, 2, 5, 6, 7. These entries will take 1 in the output. Other entries which are not present inside this bracket will take 0. Therefore, 0, 0, 0, which is decimal value is 0, 0 is there. Therefore, that will have output 1. Coming to 1, 0, 0, 1, no entry. Therefore, that will take 0. Coming to 0, 1, 0, which is 2. 2 is there here, therefore that will take 1. 0, 1, 0 and 1, 0, 0 is 3 and 4. 3 and 4 is not there inside this entry, therefore that remains as 0, 0. Coming to 5, 6 and 7. 5, 6, 7, all 3 are there. Therefore, all 3 entries will take 1, 1, 1. Okay, so whichever is present inside this will take 1, whereas others will take 0. Which are not present here will take 0. Okay, I'll repeat 3 variable function. Therefore, 3 variable take all 0, 0, 0 till 1, 1, 1, 1. All entries you write. Then you see the entries inside the summation m bracket. Whichever the entries is there here, you take that entries as 1. And those entries which are not present here, those entries will take 0. So here we don't have 1, 3 and 4 and all other entries are there here. So 1, 3, 4 will take 0 and all other entries will take 1. This is how you construct the truth table by looking into the function. Now coming to next question, f of PQRS. Now this is 4 variable function. Therefore you need to write 4 variable and write 2 power 4 which is 16. Therefore you get 16 different entries. So we'll see what is that 16 different entries. Okay, 0, 0, 0 till 1, 1, 1, 1. Okay, so from 0, 0, 0, 0 till 1, 1, 1, 1. All entries 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay, all 16 entries should be written now. Now this is pi m. Pi m says max term, where 0 is the normal form, 1 is the complement form. Therefore, whichever the entries present inside the bracket is there, you should make that entries to be 0. Okay, whichever the entry is not there here, that entries will take one value now. This is the max term, don't get confused. Earlier we did min term. This is max term, will take 0 in a normal way, whereas 1 in the complemented form. Therefore, whichever the entries is there here, that all will take 0, whereas whichever not there here, that will take 1 value. Okay, so 0 was there, so take 0. See, 0 is there, 1 is there, 2, 3, 4 is not there, therefore 2, 3, 4 will take 1 value. 5 is there, so it will take 0. 6 is not there, so 1. 7 is there, 0. 8 is not there, 1. 9, 10, 11, all 3. 8, 9, 10, 11, all 4 entries is not there here. See, 8, 9, 10, 11, all 4 entries is not there. 12 is there, so 0. 14, 13 is not there, so 1. 14 and 15 is there, 0, 0. So here max term, the normal entry is 0, whereas 1 is the complemented way. Okay. Now the next question is, express the following Boolean function in canonical minterm form. Okay, canonical minterm form. So I said you, when I have canonical minterm form, all these product terms should always have all three variables. Okay, all these product terms should always have all three variables. Therefore, here we have x bar, y bar. Z is not present here, and z is there here. Xy is not there. Therefore, this is not the standard canonical minterm form. We need to convert this into canonical minterm form. So we'll see that now how to do that. Now we will take x bar, y bar plus z. Now x bar, y bar, to get z here, I need to multiply this with z plus z bar. Now z plus z bar or a plus a bar, earlier we know a plus a bar was equal to 1 in Boolean law. Therefore z plus z bar is also equal to 1. Okay. Now as z plus z bar is also equal to 1, you multiply this, because x bar, y bar into 1. So I will x bar, y bar into 1, I replace that with z plus z bar. Now why z? Because z is not there here, so I will take z plus z bar. Whichever the variable not there here, you take that variable in terms of this z plus z bar, or x plus x bar, or y plus y bar, and so on. So here x bar, y bar into z plus z bar. Now with this z, we don't have y and x. So what I do is, first I will multiply this z with 1. So z into 1. 1 can be written as y plus y bar. Therefore z into y plus y bar. Now I will multiply these two terms now. X bar, y bar, z. See, I got all three variables. Fine. X bar, y bar, z bar. Again I got all three variables. So this is converted into standard form now. But here you have zy and zy bar. Again x is missing. Here also x is missing. Therefore what I should do? I will again zy into 1. That 1 will replace with x plus x bar. So now in the next step, this 2 is written as it is. Whereas here zy is multiplied with x plus x bar. Zy bar is multiplied with x plus x bar. So when you expand this again, you get x bar, y bar, z plus x bar, y bar, z bar. XYZ, ZYX or XYZ, one are the same. Okay, ZYX or XYZ, one are the same. Therefore, XYZ plus X bar YZ plus XY bar Z plus X bar Y bar Z. Okay, this is the expression I have got. Now you see this entire expression is in the standard form, because all product term what you can see has all three variables. Now here X bar Y bar Z and X bar Y bar Z is repeated. So a plus a equals a. Therefore x bar y bar z plus x bar y bar z equals x bar y bar z. You can write only once. Now what is x bar y bar z? 0, 0, 1. Bar is 0. I hope you all know in minterm. Therefore 0, 0, 1 is what? Decimal value is 1. Now all three are zeros, because x bar y bar z bar will give you all three zeros. Therefore 0. X y z 1, 1, 1, which is 7. X bar yz 0, 1, 1, which is 3. Xy bar z 1, 0, 1, which is 4.
and this is again you get 1. So you need not to take 1 once again because 1 is already written. Now 10735, you write it in a normal order, in a proper order. So I get summation m of 0, 1, 3, 7, 5. This is the actual canonical minterm form of this particular question. Okay, either you can keep answer in this way or you can keep the answer in the expression itself. It is both are same. Okay, coming to the next problem. How to convert the given expression into standard max term form, canonical max term form. So here I have got x bar plus y plus z bar. Now the standard canonical max term form will have z here, x bar plus y plus z. Similarly here x is not present here. So I should see through that. I will add something so that I can expand it and I can get all three variables into a sum term. So here x plus y plus 0, I can write x bar plus y plus 0. That 0 can be replaced with z into z bar because a into a bar is 0. Similarly, z into z bar is 0. So I have replaced plus 0. So x bar plus y is also equal to x bar plus y plus 0. And that 0 is been replaced with z into z bar. Similarly, here y plus z bar is there, x is not there. Therefore, 0 plus y plus z bar, and that 0 is replaced with x into x bar. Now you expand these two now. How to expand is x bar plus y plus z into z bar can be expanded into two terms, x bar plus y plus z multiplied by x bar plus y plus z bar. Now if you multiply these two terms, you get again this term. Okay, if you multiply these two, you will end up in getting the same term again. Now coming to this expansion, x plus y plus z bar, whole thing multiplied by x bar plus y plus z. So you take first x, y, z bar and write one expression, and then again take x bar, y, z bar and write another expression. So you are expanding these terms, with these two x into x bar to two different expressions. Okay, now y z into z bar, because we have x and y, we need z, so I will take z into z. Here we have y and z, we need x, so I will take x into x bar for zeros. Therefore, now you see all x, y, z are there in all these terms. Now, this is the standard canonical form. This is the standard canonical maximum form. Now, if I try to write in decimal now, x bar is 1 because in max term, complemented term is 1, whereas normal term is 0. Okay, therefore x bar is 1, y is 0, z is 0. 1, 0, 0 is 4. Similarly, x bar is 1, y is 0, z bar is 1. 1, 0, 1 is 5. Similarly, x, y, z bar, which is x is 0, y is 0, z bar is 1. 0, 0, 1, therefore 1. And this you get again 5 because already 5 is there, so you can eliminate this. Therefore, I got 4, 5, 1 with pi m. Pi m of 1, 4, 5 is the answer. Okay. So, again this problem is, again you need to separate this and expand it in terms of min term and then max term. So here again x plus, I have expanded this, I get x bar, y, z bar plus x bar into z bar into z bar is x bar into z bar. Now here only this term is in standard form because you have all three variables. Whereas here you have only x and here you have x bar, z bar. So here we don't have y and z and here we don't have y. So therefore first I will multiply x with y plus y bar, and then this x bar z bar I will multiply it with y plus y bar because we don't have y there. Now again you expand these terms, you will get this. Now this entire thing will be converted into standard form, but here x into y plus x into y bar, whatever I get, I don't have z here. Therefore I will multiply xy with z plus z bar, and this xy bar also I will multiply with z plus z bar. Now you expand this term now and you will get the entire expression in this term. This is in the standard canonical min term form. Now xyz plus xyz bar plus xy bar z and xy bar z bar and so on. Now you convert this into standard form. Xyz is 111, which is 7. Xyz bar 110, 6. Xy bar z 101, 5. 1004, 010, 2, 010, again 2. So you write only once, you can eliminate this. 000, which is 0. Therefore, I got 765420. Write it in the normal order. You get 0, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now, this is the min term. After getting the min term, you can also get max term there itself. Instead of doing like what we did in the previous problem to get the max term, you can easily get max term by getting min term first and then putting it into the max term form. How is whichever not present inside this min term bracket, inside the bracket entries, those entries which are not present here will be considered for max term. So summation m of 0 2 4 5 6 7, I don't have 1 and 3 here, therefore that comes inside the bracket of max term. So I'll write pi m of 1 comma 3. This is converted into max term by taking the entries which are not present here. So pi m of 1 comma 3. I hope till now whatever I have explained to you, it is clear to you. You came to know what is canonical form, you came to know what is min term, what is max term, and then you also came to know how to convert any given expression into a standard canonical min term or standard canonical max term form. Okay, so this is the discussion on canonical form that we have in DSD module 1. Okay, thank you.